everybody? It is Jimmy Bay, and today I will not be giving you wrestling. Today I will be talking something that is actually more near and dear to my heart. The Kevin Smith View Askewniverse. We have finally reached the conclusion, the final chapter in the story of Jay and Silent Bob and all the other characters involved. And what a ride it has been. I will break this review down into 3 blocks for each part of the movie that I think this was shot in 3 blocks so that you could follow the story and see what he was trying to say. And it was done masterfully. You're not going to see it at first, so you have to bear with the movie for a little bit. But once you get to the middle, you're going to start the wheels are going to start turning. And you're going to be like, oh, okay. So, with that said, get yourself a little doobie snack and let's go on this journey together as I present to you a spoiler-free review of Clerks 3. Block 1. We are basically getting a shot-to-shot. It's just multiple shot cuts of guys standing in a convenience store talking to one another, and it almost seems like you're watching a play on a stage that is this big enough for both of them to stand there and just talk to you. And that's the shots you're getting, kind of like what we saw in the original Clerks. And you're sitting there saying, man, this is what I was saying. Man, this does not work in 2022. It just doesn't work. The style is just, it's outdated. And I was starting to get a little bit upset watching it, being like, man, this is not how this movie should go. This is not how we should be closing this book. This is just not working for me. And the acting even comes across as just over the top, just nonsense. And it's like, I was really upset here. But thankfully, that's just this part of the movie. And it ran as like end credit scene after end credit scene after end credit scene after end credit scene. And after I watched the whole movie, once we got to the end, I came to the realization that that's how it was supposed to be. This whole movie is an end credit scene to the universe while closing up chapters of the 2 characters that started the whole universe, Randall and Dante. But that block A, like I said, block 1, block A, it's just end credit scenes to just, again, signal the fact this is the end. You're literally getting these scenes to just enjoy it for one last time. And that's all the first maybe 35 minutes of this movie is. Great dialogue, very funny. You just have to get past the over-the-top acting, especially from Elias. He was in full form here. But once you get past this and you get into block B, block 2, whichever you call it, you're going to start to see the picture come into play. Like, you're going to start to see it form. And you're going to be like, wow, this is really, really good. So with that, we're just going to move right into block 2. This is where the premise of the movie, if you don't know, which you should know because that's how it is, the movie is about Randall having the heart attack, like Kevin Smith did, and being like, hey, I've done nothing with my life. I need to make a movie. So he makes a movie about his life, which, in fact, is how Kevin Smith started his career, by making a movie about his life. That's how Clerks started. And that's the beauty of this, is that he was able to full circle. I'm going to mention full circle multiple times here from here on out, so bear with me, but it's really beautiful how it's done. This movie is about him making his original movie after suffering a extreme, like, life-altering event in which he thought he was going to be gone forever. It was, as they said in the movie, an 80% chance Kevin Smith does not come back from this heart attack. We don't get to see Clerks 3. We don't get to see the reboot that we saw a few years ago. We don't get to see, but thankfully, he was able to come through, much like Randall in the movie. And then this is where block 2 begins, as he is like, we're going to make a movie about my life. At this point, Dante, again, spoiler-free, so I don't want to give out anything here. He's battling some things of his own in this movie, and he's doing everything he can to help Randall. Because the doctor said, hey, he's going to fall into depression unless someone is there to really uplift him. So that's what Dante's role here is. And throughout this movie, he's getting put on with this, and this, and this, and Randall is just going crazy. Because he really is dead set on making this movie. He wants something that people can look back on and be like, yo, Randall did that, because he has nothing in life. Now, what made me start the wheels start turning in this one is, as they're filming it, you start to see them shoot things in black and white. And they bounce back, black and white, color, black and white, color. And during that, you're seeing exactly why the original Clerks was shot in black and white. Because if it was shot in color, and the style that he did it, it would have come across just like this. And we're not sitting here today talking about Kevin Smith movies because it would have been a disaster, in my opinion. It just doesn't work, as I said in the beginning. It didn't look like it was working now. It probably wasn't going to work back then, and he knew that, and that's why he went with a black and white aesthetic to go over the film. It was perfect. And as you're watching them go back and forth, you see it so clearly. And he even makes a joke about it because Silent Bob gets appointed the cinematographer and the filmographer, and he basically states like, "Hey, this is how I'm going to shoot it. This is what I'm going to do. And if it's not in black and white, I'm not making the fucking movie." And I can see that exact conversation happening. So as you're watching them film this movie, you are watching basically the making of the original Clerks movie. The movie that brought us all to this part of the dance is now giving us I don't even know the word I'm looking for here, but we're watching it happen. We're watching the movie we all fell in love with to make this movie happen. It's like a full circle thing. What was the beginning is now the end, but they're doing the beginning in the end. And by the end of this, he's created a loop that will go on forever. Because once you go through, if you were to go through and watch Clerks all the way to Clerks 3 and everything in between, by the time you're done with Clerks 3, and I'll get to it, you'll understand what I mean when it's just a loop that just goes on. And I'm grateful for that rep because these have the most replay value of any movies, in my opinion. But I'm rambling back to the movie. So as you're watching these scenes unfold, some of the scenes are in black and white, like I said, and it's beautiful because you get to see it. He's pulling scenes from the original Clerks that you get to see, like, this is the story that happened, and you're getting to witness it. It's just a really nice... I feel like a part of it now, being able to watch this movie, and I think that's the best part about it. But some of the scenes from the movie that Randall is making are not in black and white, and you're like, okay, I'm still a little confused, but you've reeled me in at this point. I'm starting to enjoy this movie a lot at this point. Let's see where this goes. In which we get to Block 3. An event happens. I'm not, no spoilers here, but an event happens where Randall, the whole time, again, he's egomaniac at this point. The movie is about him. And at some point he realizes this movie shouldn't be about me. This should be about me and Dante. And there's some real heart-wrenching stuff that happens throughout Block 2. You get a little bit, but Block 3, there was a moment where I, in the theaters, was having to really hold it back. I cried in this movie more than I laughed, and it was because of the emotional connection I have, and I'm assuming many more have to this movie. And it was, again, no spoilers here, but the event makes him change his movie, and he alters the movie. And in altering that movie, it basically shows the friendship between those two, which eventually leads to Clerks, the original movie, in which he then presents to Dante because they had a falling out there because Dante became very just angry over Randall taking advantage of him. So he brought the movie to him and said, "This movie shouldn't have been about me. It should have been about us because you're my best friend." And Dante watches it, and it's just a beautiful moment. And that's essentially the end of the movie. But again, you're seeing the end of the View Askew universe start the beginning of the View Askew universe by the end. So by the time you reach the end, it's like, okay, well, let's watch that movie that they just made. You go back, you watch that movie that you made, and you're like, let's go on this journey again. I'm not bullshitting when I say I personally believe this is the most beautiful ending to any trilogy, Clerks 1, 2, 3, I'll put up against any trilogy finale out there as far as just beautiful ending, or just universe in general, because there's been lots of these movies. I think we're over 10 at this point. So there's a lot involved in this. All while doing this, he shows like, hey, this is why I did it in black and white. That to me was a very cool thing. It's like, because it's something I've always wondered. I've never heard him answer an interview why he did it, but now we get to see it. You don't have to wonder. You know why he did it in black and white now. and it made sense. You got to see how he could have probably kept going with some of these new characters he had, but he showed towards the end, the scene in the movies, you get to see how replacing characters just doesn't work. Watching characters try to play the characters that they were playing this whole time is a treat in itself. Watching Jason Mewes as Jay try to play Jay, it's, you know, my chef's kiss. I love him. It's so good. And again, I cannot say enough about how beautiful the ending to this is. And the final shot, which I can give away, this is not a spoiler. It doesn't do anything with the movie. It just goes to show. It's just a nice touch to add. We're panning out. We go through the quick stop. We're pulling back, and we get a view of Harley Quinn Smith, Kevin Smith's seed, the mastermind behind this whole beautiful universe, and she's stalking Milk into the refrigeration unit, which is exactly where Kevin Smith found himself before starting this illustrious career. So again, a full circle ride that we have gone. Beautiful. That's when people were asking me, like, hey, give me a one-word review. Give me a review. Any way you ask me, I'm literally just going to say, beautiful. That's beautiful, man. I can't if you're a View Universe fan and you were like, I don't know, well, I'm going to slap you. If you're not a fan and you've just followed along, you're probably not going to be as attached to it as we are. You're not going to get it as much, and you're not going to enjoy it as much. The very emotional stuff will pull your heartstrings 100% because it's done masterfully. But again, if you're not a fan of the Kevin Smith, the Jay and Silent Bob journey, don't go to the theater, I guess. Don't save your money, watch it when it comes out, and enjoy it then. But I can't say good. As for me, I would go watch it again, and that's how much it got me. And that's that. My only gripe is that we did not get any Brody. But technically he's not part of this universe, so I get it. We never got to see that character wrapped up. This did a fantastic job of wrapping the Dante and Randall stuff up. Fantastic job. And really showing you the depth of their friendship and how they don't get each other at all. Like, they're nothing alike, but they get each other to the point where they realize, hey, you really are the yin to my yang. And I know that's a very cliche thing to say, but it's so true in this case because they really are. You have the very obnoxious and loud Randall and the very, like, reserved and, like, I don't know if I want to do that Dante. And it's like, they shouldn't be friends, but they are, and it works beautifully. You even see Kevin Smith doesn't get enough credit for the music he puts in his movies because it's done so well. And in this movie, in the beginning where it's reintroducing to you Dante and Randall, the music you get is very somber as it's showing you Dante's journey to the quick stop. And then once Randall approaches, the music like changes because that's what the song does. It's not like he just changed it. The song changes and then the Randall, and it's chaotic, and that's Randall. Somber, chaotic. They mesh well together. The song is amazing too. It's My Chemical Romance. I can say that. It's not a spoiler either. But yes, everything about it was just done beautifully. It takes you on a journey, which is the end of a journey. And it brings it full circle. I'm sorry I repeat it so much, but it's very true here. So with that, again, Jimmy Bebe, star rating. I love star ratings. I give them all the time. It's usually 5 stars. But this one, 10, 12, 20, all of them. I loved it that much. But I'm more than willing to listen to other people's opinions on it. So go ahead, hit them in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the movie. And I'll discuss it with you because, again, I don't think there's been a movie that pulled my heartstrings as much as this one, but I also have an emotional connection to it, and I'm repeating myself at this point. So I'm going to end the review with that. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, like it, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your enemies, share it with everybody, share it with your neighbors, share it with everybody so they can see this and GeekBuddy can grow because WrestleBuddy is a fun thing, and it's grown, and we have a great community. We're trying to recreate that community and expand it into the world of multimedia, movies, and all that. So let's help us out by doing that algorithm stuff. I'm not sure how it works, but I know that if you like it and you share it, that's going to be good for us. So do that as well. And I will see you again sometime down the road for another review. It might be a minute, but I will be back. And yes, check out Clerks 3. It, for the fans, check it out. It's beautiful.